All right, so moving on, now we're looking at a transformation, and I'm wanting to find the x that gets me to this vector in the codomain. So I will need to first find out what the matrix is. So again, always looking for the commas. So I can see that AX will equal x1 plus x2, 4x1 plus 5x2, 5x2. So then my matrix A will be 1, 1, 4, 5 that I'm multiplying times x1 times x2. All right, so if I'm solving for the x that gets me to 3, 8, then I'm going to be making an augmented matrix. There's my augmented matrix that I'll put into my calculator, and I get 1, 0, 7, 0, 1, negative 4. Okay, so this gives me the solution. X is 7, negative 4. This is asking me, if I have this in the domain, where does it go? So in the domain, I have the vector 2, 1. To find out where that goes, I'm going to take the matrix A and multiply it by 2, 1. So if I do matrix multiplication, I get 3, 13. Oops, that's plus 13. Okay. Okay. So let's look at my matrix A in order to determine whether I've got a one-to-one or onto mapping. So my matrix A, if I do reduced echelon, I get to this. All right. So it is one-to-one. There is a pivot in every column. So yes, 1-to-1. So make sure you, in words, you answer the question. Is this mapping onto? Yeah, there's a pivot in every row. So yes, onto. Okay. One more example here for us. All right, so here I have another transformation. So this time it's R2 to R3. And these are what happens for the 3 rows. So again, I'm just going to encourage you just to write it out. 2x1 minus x2, negative 3x1 plus x2, 2x1 minus 3x2. Okay, so then my matrix A will be 2, negative 1, negative 3, 1, 2, negative 3. Then I'm multiplying times x1, x2. Okay, so what is the x? Find the vector x that gets me to this vector 0, negative 1, 4. So this, I know I need to augment and solve to find the x that goes to this vector in the range. So I'm going to set it up, 2, negative 1, 0, and 2, negative 3, oops, not 0 there, negative 1 there, and negative 4 there. All right. So in my calculator, I get this. All right. So what does this, so be careful. This row of zeros does not mean a free variable. Make sure you're taking the time to decode what these rows mean, right? So this first row means x1 is equal to 1. The second row means x2 is equal to 2. Oh, right. And my domain only has 2 variables. So my answer is x1 is 1, x2 is 2. So this is the vector x that goes to this vector in the codomain. So this just meant there was just extra information. So T sub 2, 4 means I'm taking my matrix A and I'm multiplying it by the matrix 2, 4 to get the vector, the column vector, that's in the range. So this is in the range. So remember, this is a 3 by 2. So the A, right? A was a 3 by 2 matrix. So the domain is R2, right? The domain is R2. And the codomain, right, the codomain or the range, is R3. Okay, so let's look at, our, looking at whether it's a one-to-one mapping or an onto mapping. So if I take my matrix A and put it in reduced row echelon, I get 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay, so I'm looking to find out if it's one-to-one. There is a pivot in every column. So yes, one-to-one. Is it onto? Not a pivot in every row, so not onto.